Stampers and Crafters. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And today is Thursday, which means we're all about throwing the dice Thursday. The last one, and I gotta tell you, sometimes I just go into left field because I don't know exactly how to create some of these cards. This card was thanks over the top blending ribbon and twine. I did not do that good of a job, so I just kind of faked it. This is one of my first ones, and it is a fancy fold. And the products that I am using today are all from the online exclusives. So this beautiful Latte Love and all the dies that go with it are all part of this exclusive. And it is so wonderful. I love the online exclusives. They have beautiful stamp sets, beautiful die cuts, great designer series paper, and I don't know, oh, I do have some of these. So one of my first page is all the coffee beans that we could ever have in your life. And then the other one is all the coffee cups and spoons with coffee cups behind it. And if you want to use some of these, you do have to fussy cut these. But these are just so much fun. And I can't remember where I found this fabulous fancy fold, but it is just one of my favorites. So on the front, we have the spoon and the hello there. And we also, in the stylish shapes, I use this banner. I cut it out with the die cut from the Latte Love. As you open it, you can see that there's coffee here. You have a cup. It has some steam. I did that on Vellum, and I used the white embossing powder. I use this beautiful little area up here that makes it look like it's coffee. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and shut the card, and it really shows off what a beautiful card this is. All right, then I use the basic rhinestones to finish it off. So that's one of my over the tops. And I know it's not a real thank you card, but I just thought it's one that, hey, let's catch up. Because you could always want to talk to somebody, catch up, see how they're doing, go from there. So that's the first card we're going to begin with. I wasn't going to make this card, and then as I got into the card, because I was doing it for a swap, I went, why don't I use this for one of our the throw the dice. So I have glue on the back of this. I have the designer series paper already glued down. You guys know that all you have to do is go to my my online www.ktstamps.com, and it has everything that you need there. All the directions, well, I lie, all the measurements. Okay, the directions you can get from following this YouTube, or I lie, Facebook Live. So I'm just kind of adding this down and taking a look at exactly where it should be. And what I did is that the designer series paper is a little crooked. So I am trying to get it even on both sides all the way to the white and the same on the bottom. And I'm just going to give it a little crease. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. These cuts are different, and the number one thing that I always do is go through and I do my die cuts. So this is where we add the die cut that is the coffee cup. I also cut out the coffee cup, and before I stamped on the inside. I cut out the banner. I stamped the hello there, let's catch up. I got out my vellum, and with this one, I really had to use the Embossing Buddy and the Embossing Buddy kit that comes, and I just did that. I did the Versamark, then I added the white powder, then I heat set it, and then I fussy cut. All right, so that's what I did on that. This one we will glue down and then have the little half of a mini, okay, and I just cut it in half of a mini black dimensional, and I put it on the top. I die cut the spoon, and then I will also put the dimensionals on there. All right, I just put the black dimensionals, okay, on the coffee cup. So that's how I did everything. So now we have the first part made, and I have 3 dimensionals for the top, and all I did with these is pretty much line them up with the top and make sure that they both had like a little V coming from the side. So that's what I did with this. Then on my on my dimensionals, I did put 2 dimensionals on. One came there, and then I put another one down towards the bottom, and I tried to get it so the top end was pretty flat. All right, and then I just took those dimensionals off, and then I put it towards the bottom, like you almost had a saucer, and you can put it right beside the saucer on the bottom. All right, nothing on the inside. Then what I did, and I did this a little bit too soon, took my dimensionals off, and before I did the top part, I just lined up everything below. There we go. I just lined that up. All right, so then you can see that the hello there, the coffee cup, etc., everything's there. I took off my dimensional to the bottom. I took some liquid glue, just put it on the bottom of it, and then what I did is that I just put that steam right up. So this is laying flat, and the top part is, let's see if I can get it this way, and the top part then is raised. Then I just came in and took 3 little teeny tiny rhinestones from the basic rhinestones or basic jewels, and I just stuck them right around the coffee area. And that is all that I did for this card. And I felt like it was pretty much over the top for me. So that is card number 1. And I just, again, a fun card to make. Dimensions are all on my blog. All right, so the second card comes from the Nature Sweetness. And this is designer series paper that has gold on one side, and then either this is a little bit of the Pebble Pie or Pumpkin Pie, and also the Pebble Path. So I found this, and I just said, let's take this. And so I put it in here at 4 inches. And then I really think that you have to measure from the ends to go to 5 1/4. and then cut it across, and you'll have just a little bit in the middle that you can you'll have left over, and it can be the white part. So my card, I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I took that exact same thing, and all I did was I used markers for the blending. I used some of our new, these are Adhesive-Backed shiny Sequins. So I put them right in the middle and up by the sentiment. I have all my blends that I used, which were Lemon Lolly, Highland Heather, and this is Pebble Path. Then I have my stamps that are coming from Charming Sentiments and Today is All About You, Happy Birthday. On the inside, it just looks like wishing, okay, which is this one way over here, wishing you the happiest birthdays. And then at the bottom, I just randomly stamped this at the bottom because it looked like it was one of those little wild, kind of wildflower that you could use on the bottom of the card. This is Nature's Notes. It comes with these great stamps and then these absolutely beautiful dies. So that's what I used for that. Then I also took some of the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. I used this, and I just made a 3 loop bow, stuck it on the bottom with a glue dot. And this is the part, whoops-a-daisy, this is the part that took the longest to do. All right, so that's what I have for you today. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about is that we get these photopolymer stamps, and this stamp has lost its stick. And so every time I go to stick it on, it comes off. Stampin' Up! Has these cling adhesives. And on these cling adhesives, they're really great because they will just have everything stick. And I'm taking my take a pick tool and this, and all I'm going to do is pull this first one off, and there is adhesive on the bottom. And what I'm going to do with that is stick this right over top, give it a good press, and this cling, come on, I know you can do this. I'm going to have to cut this. I didn't, the last time I did that, it didn't give me this much of a problem. So I am just cutting the bottom of this. I'm going to stick this adhesive back down, the cling adhesive, and now I have adhesive on the back of this. So when I stick it down, it's going to stay. So if you ever find your photopolymers are not sticking very well, this is the fix. And again, it is called cling adhesive. Great stuff. Great stuff. It has saved me many times. All right, so we have that. So let's get ourselves started. And I brought out the color lifter just in case I get happy on a couple of my coloring, and I did not color anything, so the longest time we are going to spend right now will be doing our color. But before then, I cut out a couple of other little flowers. Didn't know that they came they came with a die cut, so I fussy cut them. And so what I think I'm going to do is put them at the bottom instead of flowers. All right, so this is straight down, straight up, a little on the crooked side. I'm going to save this because on this one, what I'm going to do is that I am going to add the Today at the bottom. All right, and you guys know I don't like to stamp on camera because I do such a horrible job. Horrible. So, before we get ourselves coloring, let's go ahead and take everything and start putting it together. So right now, we are going to take our Stampin' Seal, and we are just going to adhere this on the inside. And what I have right now is pumpkin pie as my card base. Then I'm going to take these and I'm just going to add some glue dots on them. And I'm just going to put them down in the bottom corner. Might as well use them both. And again, this does not want to come off. There we go. And this one right here. And that one came off easy. And we're just going to put those down in the bottom. So that's the start of the front of our card. Here, let me bring this so you can see that. All right, so now we're bringing this into focus. And the first thing we're going to do is that I'm just going to take my purple and I'm just going to come around. And my purple is being used as my leaf, my stem, all of that. And you can see this is almost like a little bit of a mirror image of each other. One's going towards the left, the other one's going towards the right. And so that is one of the reasons that I decided to put the saying on the bottom so it kind of goes along with everything. And I am not doing a very good job of paying attention. This should be the lighter. I'm going to go back and mix some of this in because it should be the lighter that I'm using. And with these, you don't have to press hard. Flare just gives you a little bit of a color. You want your tip to be a firm tip. You can see mine's losing a little. I don't know if you can see it. Do you see how it kind of goes out towards the side over here? Towards the left right now. That it's just kind of losing its. I've either pressed too hard or colored too many rhinestones with it. But you can keep these because you can use the other end to help you out. This is pretty much what I call the flare end. And then you have the solid end. It almost looks like it's a ballpoint pen. So I'm just using that as like the ballpoint pen. Now I'm going to come back in and color this, but I'm going to do so in just a minute because I want some of this ink to dry, to bleed. So then I could add my darker Highland heather to the project. And I love this. How much fun is having this already cut out for you? I love this. I'm going to dimensional, hopefully I remember. I'm going to put some dimensionals on these, and stand it up, because the other one I laid it down, but I really want it to stand. And you can see that, I didn't show you this before, there's a little bit of color that pops. I decided that I was tired of doing the little misters and running out and having them shoot out like they are crazy. So I just decided I'm going to add it in the big bottle. So I took my big bottle of Stampin' Mist, filled it with alcohol, filled it with lots and lots and lots of drops of Stella, and I have a little more of a bottle that I can share with you on this. It's great, it's fun. You can see that this color is interesting because of the bleeding that happens. The yellow is coming through and it almost mixes with some of that pumpkin pie. So you're wondering why the yellow isn't as vibrant as it usually is. That's one of the reasons. And again, I'm going to let this one dry too. And then I'm bringing in my light Pebble Path. And I'm just doing, I don't know what kind of flower this is. So I really don't know what type of a pod this is on the flower. Anybody knows? Please add that in the comments so I know. I don't work a lot in the garden. I do love flowers. I love vegetation. I think it's beautiful. And then we have some little pods down here. All right, so that's what we have so far. So now we are going to go back in with all our darker colors. And when we do, we are going to go back in with the ballpoint pen part. So it looks almost like a ballpoint pen. And what we're going to do is just kind of outline everything. Make it look like you can really see the veins in the leaves. And I love this. I may have to add a little bit of color remover in that, or color lifter, because I colored these a little bit on the dark side. And again, as I just go through the veins, you will see that whenever you do the Stampin' blends, it'll take a little while, and it's like they lighten up the more that they dry. And that's where the color really, for me, really comes out. And you can really see the difference and how they bring out that beautiful outlined look. And the leaves look beautiful right now. Then you'll get the flowers that will look great. This has some outline here I want to make sure that I get to. And again, I'm just kind of following the lines, but I'm not being perfect. in the following of the lines. And I just flip the cardstock around just so I can do a better job of outlining. I don't know if that's a word, but drawing the lines so there looks like there's a little bit of veining, different colors kind of show up, and you can see how that just is just fun. It's just, I enjoy that. And again, this is going to come just a little bit darker, and again, it's mixing with the pumpkin pie. And so hopefully my head is not in the project. Sorry, excuse me if it is. All right, there you go. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of color lifter on that. And then I have the dark. And I just think this is just so beautiful. Sometimes I outline the outside, but these I just really like the way that it looked, kind of being outlined in the middle instead of on the side. All right, so all I'm going to do with this is come in and just try to take a little bit of color out of the yellow on the side so you can see the two tones of its color. And this will take just a little bit longer as it dries for you to see the color. All right, and then from there, we are just going to bring in some of, I don't think I put this down, but I wonder if this is like Granny Apple, some type of an orange. I don't know what color it is. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have written that down before. But I'm just going to stick this in the middle, and it almost, you can hardly even see it. But I just wanted a little bit of a shine in there. All right, and then I'm going to move that out of the way as I bring in a piece of a scrap paper. So then as I shake my spray up, all I'm going to do is spray it, and it'll take just a little bit of time for you to be able to see the shine. Like now you can see the shine. It's beautiful. Love it. Get this out of the way. Taking my glue dot and my bow, just adding that. I'm going to kind of just curl in some of that. Let that be all over the place, kind of hang ten, whatever it wants to do. You can see the beautiful gold and white on the back side, and you can see how it bleeds through, so that's why the yellow is picking up some of the pumpkin pie, or like some of the pecan pie. And then I have to find glue dots, or I mean dimensionals. So this I'm going to put a little bit more on than we should, because I do want it just to stand out. And as I'm doing that, I sure hope you guys enjoy this. This has been really fun for me to put together. And I think, yep, that sticks out there just a little bit. Come on, baby. Yes, you may have heard it tear a little bit, so it did tear. This is why I like my wonderful little foam adhesive. And now all I'm going to do is just start picking away. All these beautiful little dimensionals coming off. Okay, we got them off. So I'm just going to add that to the front. And see, I like the way that it just is a little more popped up. But that's the card for today. I enjoy that, and I love being able to use the designer series paper. Probably needed a few more in here, but you know, as soon as everything dries, we got a beautiful card. So this is one part of the card. Here's the second part of the card. So that's what we did with the throw the dice today. Love it. All right, so we need to move on. Today's the last day of SAB, last day you can sign up and join with someone, last day that you can get this beautiful glass mat. It's well worth it. And we're going to get ourselves ready for next time we throw the dice on Thursday. So we are going to go with monochromatic coloring and bling. Love it. These are like right up my alley. So thank you for joining me today. Again, my name is Kevon. I'm from ktstamps.com. You go there to get all the dimensions. And I love creating cards for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care. Bye-bye.